It's another teaching for another time. 7 times he bled in the garden. So what is this connection between Yoseph's 4 cups and the 4 cups of the Passover Seder? The cups are not just for the poor and the oppressed. Does he have to go? We'll get you home.
No, I'm straight. I got it straight. I'm straight. I'm good.
You're straight? Okay.
Straight. I'll be right back.
Thank you.
Hallelujah.
The 4 cups speak, listen, of those who are comfortable in exile, but see the blood of Yeshua and their reconstitution into Israel as their true redemption. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Today we live in the U.S., we. Biblically speaking, we are guests. We are not citizens. Did you know that? I don't care if you have your green card, pink card, or polka dot card. You're a guest. Until we are back in the covenants of Yahweh, in the land of Israel, we are guests. For it is written in Philippians 1:21, our citizenship is from heaven, from where the Abrahamic, Isaac, and Jacobian covenant came from. Our citizenship is in heaven, from whence we look for the Savior, the Messiah, Yeshua. We look to heaven for these covenants. Ephesians 2:11. We are citizens, no longer strangers, no longer gerim, no longer dwellers outside. We are members of the citizenship of Israel. And so next Pesach, next week, we are going to act out who we now are, and we don't see our people as Menashe. We see them as Ephraim, as rich, comfortable, well off, and yet still in the new land of affliction. Hello? Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Turn with me to Shemot, please. Shemot, chapter 1, verse 8. I want to show you a few things, and then we'll be done by about 8 o'clock. Shemot, chapter 1, and verse number 8. Not smoke, Shemot. Shemot 1, chapter 1, verse 8. Ready? This little verse speaks volumes. Listen. There arose a new melech over Mitzrayim who knew not Yoseph. Let's read that again. There arose a new melech over Mitzrayim who knew not Joseph. Here's your problem staying in the church system and Judaism and any other ism. You're comfortable now. You got money now. You've got a religious ritual down pat now. But the day is coming, there's going to be a new king at your company. There's going to be a new king at the cab service where you work.
Right.
There's going to be a new king in the employment place that has you employed. And they are not going to know Joseph, Abraham, Yitzchak, or Moshe Pubik. And when you ask for Shabbat off, they're going to tell you to take a long walk off a short pier. How many have ever been asked to take a long walk off a short pier? It ain't fun, right? That's another way of saying get lost. So, Rabbi, you don't understand. I got this really good job up in Deerfield. Or I got this really good job down in Dade County. And I got Shabbat off, I got the Moadim. But you know something, brothers and sisters? What happens if the day comes when there's a new king in your Mitzrayim? Because you're in the West. In Israel, you don't got this problem. Back in Israel, every Shabbat you're off. And the employer that doesn't give you Shabbat off goes to jail. Here, we wind up being penalized. And we wind up the victims of punitive action by those around us. Well, the truth of the matter is, if we were in the land, every moed would be off, every employer would give us off. In other words, we got to come all the way back. We got to hook up with Yehuda and Ephraim here in the west, and eventually, at some point, go back to the land. Now, I'm not going to go back when Avi ben Mordechai tells me to go back. I'm going to go back when Yahweh tells me to go back.
Amen.
And if Yahweh tells you to go back before me, That's fine. That's good news and bad news. The bad news is you know how to hear Yahweh's voice.
Amen.
The good news is you know how to hear Yahweh's voice. The bad news is you probably have less remaining than I do.
Yes. Thank you.
I'll say that again. The good news is you know how to hear Yahweh's voice.
Yes.
The bad news is, like Joseph remains, it went back. Not his vitality and midlife when he was strong and no, when he was young. Now he was young when he whatever remained. You know, get this thing now, man.
Yes.
Go all the way back with Yahweh to Sion now before all you have left to come back is the remains. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, Father. Thank you.
So there will arise a new king over Mitzrayim, and he did not know Yosef. Watch. Joseph's security and temporary safety and temporary fame, listen, departed from Mitzrayim. And soon after there arose a new king who did not know Yosef. Right? And there was nothing for him or his people. Mitzrayim moved to a new chapter of its history, and Yosef turned out to be a temporary sideshow, not even remembered in Mitzrayim records. What happened when a new king arose?
Everything
What happened? What happened to all Joseph's position and authority?
gone.
Gone.
Went back to the Pharaoh.
And don't you think the enemy is planning to put new melachim in your life? To destroy you? For the thief cometh not but to steal, kill, and destroy.
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
Joseph, let me help you wake up today. The enemy's plan is to put new kings that don't know you in your life. They don't know your heart, your desire to serve Yahweh, and your love for the people of Israel. Meaning, do it now, not later. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Come to the, when you sit down next Yom Rishon, I pray that you will sit down with the mind, not just of Yahweh, which is the mind of Yosef. What is the mind of Yosef? Regardless of how comfortable I am and how many condos I have and how much real estate I own and how many acres. Acres. Ooh, you have a lot of acres.
Acreage.
Guess what? The thing is, do you have the insight of Yosef? Can you see the future like Yosef? That there is no future for you apart from the covenanted, blood-bought people of remnant, redeemed Israel. Not the Jews, blood-bought, remnant, redeemed Israel. Apart from that people, you and I have no future. It is that you're drinking to next Pesach, this coming Pesach. You're drinking to the fact that you've escaped the understanding of Menashe, thinking that you used to be afflicted when you were being too Jewish, realizing the true affliction comes by not being part of Am Yisrael.
Amen.
So the 4 cups of Yosef are a realization. Listen, they're symbolic of what you've done as a Yisraelite, turning not the I will into thy will be done. Turning the I wills, my will be done, and then you say, no, I have the thinking of Yosef. Forget my thinking, Abba. Nevertheless, thy will be done. Hey, forget my thinking. Nevertheless, despite my stinking thinking, thy will be done. Amen?
Amen.
Well, watch this. It doesn't even get heavier. Turn to your neighbor and say, even heavier. Turn to your neighbor and say, heavier even. The 4 cups remind us, listen, that we as the 2 houses have a long journey from bondage yet to be realized and accomplished.
Yes.
When we sit down and drink those 4 cups, you know we ought to be thinking, we're back, but the rest of our people aren't back. You know why? Because they don't see themselves as slaves. They're on Wall Street. They're on Madison Avenue. They're in Disney World. They don't just ride the rides. They own Disney World. And I ain't talking about them Jews. I'm talking about them Joes and them Jews. A lot of Joes have as many financial means as the Jews. Why? Because this is the 4 cups of the butler that have raised themselves up to a certain material place in this world. When we drink, but notice the butler was a servant to Yahweh, or was the butler a servant to man? The 4 cups of the butler can make you a servant to man, but the 4 cups of Yeshua can...
Oh, no, you don't. Teach. Oh, no, you don't.
Teach.
Finish.
Teach now.
Oh my God.
Telling you. I'm glad I'm here. Como?
You understand what I'm saying?
Amen.
The 4 cups of the butler can make you a servant to man, but the 4 cups of Yeshua can make you a servant to Yahweh. So what are you doing next Pesach? You are getting deep into the 4 cups, man. And you're reminding yourselves how far you've come and how far the rest of your people still have to come.
Yes. Hallelujah.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
We remember not only the slaves who were freed from bondage and oppression back with our ancestors, but we remember Yoseph, who in his own way was a slave, our father, to Pharaoh in Mitzrayim. He was freed by Moshe, a Israelite that cared enough to carry him part of the way. You care enough to carry another Josephite part of the way? I do. I know you do. I do. You may have to carry him for a while. You know, he may have to get fired 5 times because he doesn't work on a Shabbat. And you might have to hold his hand and give him a little, formula. Moshe carried Yosef part of the way, right? Not all Israel understood why Joseph wanted to leave Egypt. Not all of your family will understand why you're hanging out with the Jews when you could be at the beach. And you missed Easter. Bad enough you're hanging out with the Jews. You could be at the beach next Sunday, because it's a day off, right? And you miss Easter. Not only did you miss Easter, that was the best ham we ever had.
Oh yeah.
That ham was so big we had to hire a good humor truck just to drive it through the front door.
Keep that pig to themselves.
Those of you who know good humor, I can tell what part of the country you're from. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. I can tell what part of Egypt you're from. Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Even that pig can eat
Listen,
themselves.
Yosef, our father, your father, was finally placed to rest, listen, in a homeland that he knew was the homeland of his people, and the only land Yahweh had ever given to his people. And the reason we drink the 4 cups of Yosef is the 4 cups of the butler made him a slave to man. But when he realized that I will redeem your people, I will take them out, I will. When Yahweh's 4 I wills came into his life, he then was able to say at the end, there wasn't much of Joseph left to give to Yahweh, right? His remains, right? But he was able to say, only then, Lishana Abba'a, Lishana Abba'a, Lishana Abba'a, B'Yerushalayim, Lishana Abba'a, Lishana. Then he was able to say, aha, now I see Egypt as my problem, not those brothers who didn't understand me. See, that's some of your problem. You think your problem are people who don't understand you. No, your problem is the deep doo-doo you have been, as you've been wandering away from the Commonwealth of Israel.
Yes.
Your brothers may never understand you.
Yep.
That doesn't mean you should allow them to leave your remains in their systems. You make sure you find a Moses to carry whatever's left of you out of there today. Today, if you hear his voice, 2 Corinthians 2. Today, now is the time of salvation and deliverance. Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Yeshua had 4 cups. And notice these 4 cups would not pass. Do you get that? They would not pass. Did Yahweh allow them to pass?
No, absolutely not.
Matching the 4 cups of the Exodus and the Pesach Seder, Yeshua died. Yeshua bled. Yeshua died and bled not just to redeem his people, both houses. He died to bring Joseph's dream into an end-time reality. And each of those 4 cups represent one of the 4 corners of the earth.
That's right. Wow.
When we drink, Joseph, come home from the north. 2nd cup, Joseph, come home from the south. 3rd cup, Joseph, come home from the east. 4th cup, Joseph, come home from the west.
Oh, Baruch
So the fourth cups are not only the realization of what Yahweh has done for you in and through the Messiah Yeshua, it is a realization that you won't be just coming home from the British Isles and Ireland and all that white supremacist garbage.
Uh-oh, wait a minute. It's getting
That
deep.
Israel will be coming home from South Africa,
Yeah.
Zimbabwe, Uganda, Mozambique, Jamaica, along with all the other Jamaicans.
Uh-oh. Shoemaker.
Dominica, the islands of the sea, Freeport in the Bahamas, Nassau in the Bahamas,
Miami.
the Cayman Islands,
Yay!
speaking of money in the West.
John
And
Kerry.
friends coming home from all the islands of the sea. Because Yahweh has raised his banner over us. His banner is love. What love? Love to restore. Even though you don't have much left to give me, I'll restore the years that the locust has eaten, that the cankerworm has eaten, that the palmer worm has eaten. Give me your remainder, and I'll give you the understanding of Yosef. Give me. Give me those things that remain. I will strengthen those things that remain. Because soon everything that can be shaken will be shaken. And only those things that cannot be shaken will remain, somebody.
Yeah. That's right.
That's right. And very
Very
So
soon.
you drink those 4 cups.
So that people think.
It's for your brothers in all the 4 corners of the earth. For them.
Oh, hallelujah.
So we talked about what? The 4 I will. We talked about Yeshua's 4 thy will. We talked about the 4 cups that of Yosef that Yahweh wants to turn into the cup of Yeshua, the what? I wills into the
Thy will.
I'm not done. Sorry. Yo soy triste en mi corazón.
We ain't gonna know.
Turn to your neighbor and say, he's not done. There's a whore.
The Catholic Church. I mean, that's what I was
Come
taught.
on! Let me have it.
That's what I was taught.
The best wine for the last. The best wine for last.
What is it? 1619.
Uh-oh.
Come
Best wine for
on, give
the
it to me now.
1619.
When Yahweh, that's right, the best wine for the last. Yep.
Yes, yes.
Gideon 1619.
Catholic Church.
When Yahweh
Uh-huh.
empties his people from the nation and from the religious systems of the nation, Mizraim, he has just 4 more cups left. Now, when I saw this morning, I said, can we talk? I was eating, why am I telling you what I was eating? I'll tell you. I was eating banana.
Rivka was there.
No, she wasn't. I wish she was. I would have been eating better than I was eating.
Amen.
And I was eating a turkey sandwich with Nathan's mustard.
That's not bad. That's
It reminded me of my New York upbringing.
yeah.
And I was out on the porch and I go, yeah, you know, this message is nice. 4 cups of Yeshua, 4 cups of Yosef, 4 cups of Pesach. It's nice that the 4 cups in the garden match the 4 cups. But I know about the cups of Bavel and Yahweh's judgment on Bavel, the great end-time religious whore. Let me, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way this can be 4 cups. We know that Yahweh will take the cup of his wrath and pour it on Bavel.
Yes.
But there's no way. There's no way this is going to be 4 cups. But it is. Now you think about this, brothers. I mean, I was with the turkey and with the bananas, and I was saying I want to close with a bang, and then I said, but I don't need to close with a bang. And I'm like, but then I got my Bible. I got my Restoration Scriptures.
Hallelujah.
True
True name.
True name edition.
True name.
True Name Edition. And then I turn to Gilead, 16:19. Let's count. Ready? 16:19. And the great city, we know which of course is Rome, was divided into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell, and the great Babel came up in remembrance before Yahweh to give to her the cup of the wine. Notice, not grape juice.
Wow.
Wine of the fierceness of his wrath. Circle that verse. Gilead 16:19. Now, go to Gilead 17:4. Gilead 17:4. The woman, same woman, in Rome, false religious system, end time, false religious system, the beast. And the woman, the beast religious system. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, decked with gold, precious stones, and pearls, having the golden cup in her hand, full of abomination, filthy spiritual doctrines and spirits, and fornication. Number 2. Now, go to Revelation 18:6. Come out of her, my people, listen, come out of her, my people, Gilead, Revelation 18:4, because you have taken the 4 cups of exile and turned them into the celebration of Mashiach's blood and atonement that ends the exile. That's what we're doing next Pesach. We're taking the 4 cups of the exile and turning them into Yeshua's blood that ends the exile. Amen?
Amen.
So come out quickly.
Amen.
Come out quickly. Why? Because there's 4 more cups. So when we... I'm not going to say it yet. Let's read. Gilead 18:6. Reward her, meaning the great end time religious system, whore. And in case you were wondering, you could see, in case you're wondering if it's Rome, all you have to do here is look at verse 18 of Gilead 17. Gilead 17:18. The woman you saw is a great city that reigns over the kings. Jerusalem is a great city, but it never ruled over the kings of the earth. It was most of the time occupied by foreign armies and foreign invaders. It is a city. So we know that system is based on a city sitting on 7 hills. It's Rome.
It's Rome,
Okay?
yes.
It is a city sitting on 7 hills,
Yes.
and Jerusalem never ruled over the kings of the earth. Although that will happen in the Atid Lavo. Yes. Now watch this. Gilead 18:6. Reward her, Yahweh, even as she has rewarded you, my people, and repay her double. How do you say double in Spanish?
Doble.
Doble Jotevu, Televisia, Canal 40. No. Oh, that's an old tape. I'm sorry.
All righty then.
Doble Jotevu, Televisia, Canal. That's when I was a kid. Just don't mind me. I'm just acting silly in front of 60 people.
Yes.
Don't mind me.
You're drinking from that wine.
Verse 6. Reward her, even as she rewarded you. Repay her double, according to her religious non-Torah so-called works.
Right.
In the cup that she has filled. She's filled the cup.
She did it.
Not Yahweh.
Yeah.
She filled the cups. Now Yahweh says, now you, my people, fill it twice. Fill it double.
Wow.
Now, go back to Revelation 16:19, cup number 1. Revelation 17:14, 17:4, cup number 2. Revelation 18:6, the 4th cup is a double cup of judgment. A double whammy on the great Roman beast system to which 4 U.S. presidents, or 3, bowed down at the foot of the dead pontiff last week. Those were the kings of the earth bowing down to the Bishop of Rome. They call it a kneeling bench. You can call it whatever you want. They were bowing before the Pope.
Yes. Yes.
They don't bow before me that way. So you can call it a kneeling bench if you want to. I call it worship.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it is.
Watch this. So Revelation, Gilead 18:6, is a double cup. So we see that the end time Babylonian religious system will be judged by the 4 cups of prophecy to end all false religion, to end the exile of our people Yisrael, because verse 4, in Revelation 18:4, come out of her, my people. So those 4 cups not only end the popery's reign over all the earth, it will end
hallelujah.
our exile as our people flee that judgment.
Oh, but Hashem
How does the exile end? Our people flee the nations and flee the religious systems that hold them in bondage. So those 4 cups of judgment are designed to loose us from her that has us in captivity. So wait a second. This is unbelievable. When I saw this morning, I almost dropped my banana into the hot tub. I mean, Hollywood can't produce this stuff. 4 cups are going to be poured on the end time Babylon?